Hello, I'm John McAllister, and I'd like to welcome you to the John McAllister Report. And today, my guest is a running back, sophomore in the class of 2026 from Painesville Harvey High School. Painesville is more along the coast area on the northeast side of Cleveland. Great little area, and football's tough. Shahn Alston is 5'10", 205 pounds probably, and he's put a lot of yards in. He's gained over 1,000 yards this year, scored 118 points. I think he's going to started getting recruiting more and more, and as he continues to mature, I think he's got a chance to be one of the best running backs in the class of 2026. He does a lot of things well, and plus he's tough and competitive. So if you sit back and enjoy my video podcast with Shahn Alston, the running back in the class of 2026 from Painesville Harvey High School. Like I said earlier, my guest today is Shahn Alston from Painesville Harvey High School on outside of Cleveland on the east side, maybe a little bit northeast up in there. And I was actually there last summer. Shahn, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. You know, we did a podcast last year, and I hope to do another one next year sometime because you're a good college prospect. You're young, which, you have 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're 5'10" every day, 205 pounds. And we'll talk later about your running ability. I like it. You catch the ball, and you also catch that little, it's almost natural for you to catch the ball. That little pitch out from the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
You have really good hands on that. There's no effort. It's just natural for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shahn, where did it all start? I ask everybody this. When did you start your love of football?
First year I put the pads on, I was 5 years old, 2012. So that's where it all started in a youth team called Storm. There's been a couple of collegiate players that played there. So that's where it all started.
You're 5 years old?
Yes, I was 5 years old.
That's really good. And then junior high for sure, and then Painesville Harvey, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Didn't you have an older brother that played, or your dad played, or?
Oh yeah, my dad played in early 90s.
Okay, because I remember that. I remember him, and good football player. Okay, has there anybody been? You've had success. 1,082 yards this year, 118 points, something like that.
Yes, sir.
That's really good. Your team was what?
We were 5-5 this year.
5-5. Okay, that's still pretty good over in the teams you play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me about. Has there been anybody that's kind of been in your corner, kind of been not on your back necessarily, but have encouraged you to keep going? Because what you really have to be careful of is you don't peak out too soon. You had really good success as a sophomore. You got 2 more years, and you want to keep that going that way. And I think you will. But has there anybody that's been really, really encouraging you along the way?
Yeah, of course. My dad, he's also a coach on the coaching staff, but he really instills the hard work in me. Make sure I don't get complacent. Make sure I'm never satisfied with things, and he makes me keep going. So of course, definitely my dad.
Okay, that's right. He's a coach as well.
Yes, sir.
That really helps too. How what are words that you live by, Shahn? I ask this of every guy, even if he's in college, what, like a little saying, or like I have them on my walls here at my age, just little things, anything that you really abide by, or, think about, what a slogan or a cliche.
Yes, sir. It's actually on my shirt. It's called humble but hungry. It really stands for like, I'm humble in everything, with everything I got. I don't really go out and brag, 'cause I know it could all get taken away. But, I'm still hungry and, I'm still not satisfied, like I said earlier. And I always gonna want more and always want to better myself. So definitely humble but hungry.
That's really good. Now, it's good. Uh, that's really. I wish more people were like that. More people were that. They're not humble. They're
Mm-hmm.
not hungry, or some of them are humble, but they're not hungry. That's really good. I'll have to remember that one. I may even write that down here after we're done. Uh, are you do any other sports, Shahn?
Yeah, I do it. I run track.
Okay. You run track. You run in track, you said. What do you run? 100, 200, and the 4x1 and the 4x2?
Unfortunately, last year I couldn't run because I pulled my hamstring during track season.
Right.
But yeah, I was planning on running 100, 200, and 4x1.
Yeah. I think you got to run the 800. Put some toughness on you. Or run 400. It used to be
Yeah,
800. Now it's like the 400. Man, those guys fly. They fly.
yeah, it's
It's really
crazy.
good. It's good. It's good on the track. You have that relay team, and you're going to run anchor. And man, bringing that thing down the straightaway.
So,
I never did that. I threw the shot discus, but I would think there'd be nothing like that coming down the straightaway
yeah,
and
nothing like it.
and puffing that chest out. That's really good. How's school, Shahn?
School is great. It comes student athlete first, so I take pride in my grades and the schoolhouse. So yeah, I have a 3.8 GPA right now. So yeah, school is number one, of course.
That's really good. What's your favorite subject? What's your
Probably physical science.
physical? Oh, okay. That's really good. Physical science. Okay. Is that's school's good, and that's really good. Keep now. See, as you've got that high IQ, you have that high IQ right now, and boy, that helps when you really get into recruiting and
Hmm.
people wanting to bug you, and you can't quite study as much, and that's
Hmm.
good that you're doing that. Has there ever been a top? And I always call this. Now you're only sophomore, just finishing yourself. What's your biggest scrapbook moment? What's your biggest thing that you want to tell your buddies about 10 years from now? You're all sitting around the game watching and you're bragging and stuff. What's the highlight so far? Yeah. Any highlight, any big run or big game or anything like that?
Um, it has to go with something last year. We were playing a game against Hawking last year. A good private school. And we were down like I think by 22, 24, something around there. And we eventually came back, and with a couple minutes left, I think it was 2 minutes left. I ripped off a 70-yard touchdown. So that was probably definitely a highlight play. Something I'll enjoy telling friends or kids. Definitely that.
And you'll have more of those coming, I think. I hope. I mean,
Hopefully.
more scrapbook moments and things like
Mhm.
that. Let's talk running back, and that's your favorite position, I would think. Tell me what your strengths are as a running back.
Definitely my strengths. I get downhill pretty fast. I think. Um, I have good vision. I feel like I can see, cutback lanes, and I feel like I'm patient enough. I don't really feel like I, take a hole too fast. I make sure, the hole I go, and I burst through it as fast as I can. And I feel like I can have enough speed to, that home run speed to not get caught, from behind or something like that. So those are definitely my strengths.
I agree with you. We talked before we came on the start of the show. Is that I feel you do a lot of things right, and surprisingly, you have a really good I don't know if it's a burst, but you have a really good burst going through the line. You know, you
Mhm.
get through there quickly. You get on top of defenders quickly, and that's the key. And then you run away from them. You know, I think the 4.5 speed for running backs, I think that's overblown sometimes, even at the college level. I mean, it's good, but man, if you can run away from guys and if you can break tackles, and you have a couple of amazing qualities I've seen. Look at your film. I told you a week ago. I looked at it, and then just this morning, you know,
Mhm.
you break tackles, and
Mhm.
it's a lot of it. I don't know how strong you are, but you just have your feet moving and you balance. And there was one play I saw in the highlights. You were tackled for about 3 yard gain, and then you're stumbling, you're running, you picked up another 6 yards. And
Yeah.
there are other plays where you have a really good ability to stay on your feet, which is huge. And then
Mhm.
get to the line of scrimmage, your blockers do a good job because sometimes you aren't touched till
Yeah.
that field. I mean, I'm stroking your block
Yeah. Yeah. A
because
lot of them.
I mean,
You
and
know.
you do that, and then you catch the ball. So much of that is natural catching the ball. I think. Let me check my notes here if there's anything I want to add to that. Oh, I call it functional run. Okay, functional run. That means you make a big play, clutch performance play. And you've already
Mhm.
told me about the 70-yarder here against Hawken, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, what do you have to work on?
Like I said earlier, you can always get better at everything, but
Yeah,
mainly, continue working on speed. It may never come, but you can always improve your running ability, mechanics and stuff like that. I feel like I can incorporate more agility into my game. Maybe more spin moves, or maybe a time where I could have cut back more time and got extra 5 yards. So I can always get better at that. So yeah, those two things, I think.
I agree with you. And I think that, you don't have as much wiggle as some guys, but you've got enough. I mean, I really like your running style and stuff.
Mhm.
And then the other thing you did, I don't know on the film, that you can cut back. You have vision. You start and then you cut back inside, or and you not necessarily plant and go, but you just have the ability to cut back inside. Anyway, those are my 2 cents. I think that you have a lot of strengths, and just keep getting those quick feet and stronger, but quick feet. Boom, boom. It's
Yeah,
agility.
for
Okay,
sure.
let's one thing I always, and especially you being a young person, how much film study do you do? I mean,
Uh,
when I was a young coach 500 years ago, shoot, all we had first we had Super Eights, then we had the 16s, and so I mean, you guys can take these things home. You can turn your highlights on right now, sitting there, can't you? I
yeah.
mean, well, okay. So tell me, how much film study do you do?
It was funny because me and my dad were just talking about it. I watch film like before every game week. I feel like I can get better at kind of studying it a little better. Like say if I cut this way, what does this linebacker tend to do when I do this, or how if our line tends to block like this, what would this unblocked safety do? And stuff like that. So I feel like you can always get better at study habits of film, but I feel like I do a pretty good job.
Well, it's almost two. It's like if you watch the film, not 50 times, but if you watch it once and then you watch it again, then you watch it again, the same film, you may see something that you didn't see before.
Hmm.
And you're looking at it, and boy, next time you turn that film on, you say, "Man, I don't remember this." What I'm saying is that's really good. I think it's really huge, especially with all the advantages you have, all the times to see it.
Hmm.
Okay. this is going pretty fast here. And yeah, okay. Tell me, let's talk about energy. Okay. You're a sophomore, you're going to be a junior, and you've done well. What kind of energy do you bring to your football team? What kind of, like, I have energy, believe it or not. When I want to do something, I build up energy. What kind of energy will you bring to your team this year?
Uh, Wait, you said this year, correct? Like this upcoming year?
Coming up. Starting now, what kind of energy are you going to bring to your team, especially in the summer when you start your practices and stuff like that?
Definitely, just get them hyped up and get them like ready, really, amped up for the season, So, because we were senior heavy this year, so and people know that. So, you know, just bringing that hype and that energy, getting their confidence up, is gonna be really important for this season. So, and maybe just fill that role.
So, are you a talker, or are you a work by example, or are you a quiet talker, or are you a screamer? What kind of person are you?
Me, I talk. Maybe not as like the all loud rah rah guy, but I'll pull people to the side. Talk to them. Make sure their head's good. I lead by example. Um, so yeah, everybody asks me about stuff all the time. Because I feel like I'm a good guy. They can come up without fearing to come up to me and ask me anything. I give them what they need to know. So yeah.
You came across that way last summer when I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Talk for a while, and I'm I may be acting silly, but I'm always learning about people, football players, and I like to know. And I thought you were really, really humble. And when we wanted to, you didn't get to work out, but just talking to you, I thought you were really humble, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's your best quality as a person, as a young person? What's your best quality that I'm looking for? I got to drive to Painesville to see you. Okay, I got to drive there. So, what quality do I hope I get to see?
I always tend to like look out for other people first. When it's time for me, it's time for me. But like, if I see something like just for example, if I see somebody, Cole, for example, I might just take off my jacket and give it to you, something like that. So, I'm always looking out for people, make sure everybody feels included with things, make sure everybody else is having a good time because, I just want a healthy environment around me. So, I'm caring.
Okay. What do you hope your teammates say about you behind your back? What do you hope
Uh,
your teammates say about you behind your back?
pretty much exactly that. I'm a good guy to talk to. I'm not, one of those, cocky, players that come around. I hope they just feel like they're comfortable with me, and I'm hardworking and stuff like that. So,
Well, that's
you know,
a tough
all
question.
around a good guy.
That's a tough question. Let's talk about recruiting for 2 minutes because I don't want to get. How's recruiting going for you?
Uh, it's been good. It started to heat up. I haven't got any offers since the West Virginia one in the summer. But
Uh-huh.
I've been to I got invited to a couple big time games with Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, Notre Dame, just to name a few. So yeah, they all been good, great game day visits. So it's been pretty good.
That's really good. And you need to get those. If I don't know if you can or not, but go to a practice. Now they're in the
Oh, of
spring.
course.
Go to a practices.
Yeah,
Just see.
definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to like in springtime, especially spring practices. To
Yeah.
get down to some of those schools and see what it's like, and see what the environment is. So I can base myself seeing, oh, can I see myself here, or can I not see myself here?
See,
So
also there, Shahn, you can see how the coaches really act when they're
mhm.
I mean, they're going to give you that. They're going to blow smoke and all that stuff.
Oh,
When they're recruiting you, let's see when the pressure's on those guys. See how they really act and stuff like
mhm.
that. It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking 15, 20 minutes here to talk to me. I
Of
and I
course.
and it's really good. Hopefully, sometimes I can give you some ideas and you give me ideas. But work hard and track. Make sure you stretch and get get that hammy loosened up and everything like that. Especially before you run those sprints, man. Get that hamstring. I thought that's what you messed up, wasn't
Yes, it was.
it? Okay. Well, Shahn, thank you very much for being on my podcast. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for reaching out and inviting me. It's always a joy coming in here and talking to you.
Thank you.
Of course.
See you, Shahn.